Darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again. Everyone is going away right now. Stay tuned. We're about to learn about this weirdo with you've seen it in the title, but you know. Anyway, Simon and Garfunkel, The Sound of Silence. Listen to the lyrics. Good. Anyway, we'll talk soon, like real soon for you. It's like millisecond. And I do want to be the bridge over troubled water so that everyone can just walk over. I want to help. World War III. Heavy. Heavy. I'm just thinking. I wanted the aliens. I'd be disappointed. Sorry, I'm a comedian. I can't help it. This is not insensitivity. Please don't mistake it for that. But I just thought, that would have been less harm on people. Like aliens would have been. You don't get to choose what they do. I wonder how many people that have known me being ADHD, when I became verbal, who probably thought, I love the sound of silence. Actually, hang on a minute. The person that lives with me can vouch for that. I'm silent a lot of the time. This is when I put the camera on. I love you. I love you people. I love talking to you. There's too many stupid people out there. We don't want to talk with them.
Hey everybody, it is Dyan.
He's finally showed up. Rude, right?
I was busy communicating to our lovely subscribers.
I know.
Hi Maria.
I know.
Just sent a nice
Hello.
email with a copy of the trigger, the seizure trigger management program.
Yes.
There's been a few people who've been watching the video who've said, oh look, can I get a copy
I
of
really
it?
hope it
Absolutely.
helps.
If you send us an email, I'll send you a copy. You're most welcome to use it.
Yes.
It's building these sort of things that actually helps us to track what's
We're
going
here
on,
to try and
to
impart
plan.
whatever we learn.
But why
to
not
you.
share?
Yeah.
We don't all have to reinvent the wheel, you know what I mean? And you know what? None of these professionals seem to provide all these tools.
And we're in
That
the
would be actually
rare
helpful.
category, so rare has to stick together.
100%.
Because if
Yeah.
Professor Lynn Beasley told me,
Yes,
when you
she's
put
got the
all
Order
the
of
rares
Australia.
together,
Not so rare.
they're not so rare. And I was like, oh, I like her.
I know.
Like I already liked her before that, but I was like, I really like
she's
her.
a neurologist. She's a
professor
and
of
an
neurology.
Order of Australia recipient in WA. Anyway, we're talking about rare. This is a good
Yes.
conversation because we're going to talk about, I love these acronyms, right? HSAM. HSAM. I'm going to explain what it is in a moment,
me.
but a few concepts to
I
this.
should get a
First of all,
t-shirt.
the pure version of this, and I call it pure because many things in life are a spectrum. Autism is
When
a
my
spectrum,
friends weren't looking,
ADHD
I
is a
sniffed.
spectrum, 22q is a spectrum. Well, you know what? This part of rare, this particular condition in its purest form, there's only about 100 of people in the entire world,
They
apparently.
haven't studied it, they
Bingo.
said.
I know. Well, it's only really come apart in the last few years. They've actually put it all together.
Accidentally on purpose.
You know what?
I know why.
I could
Psychology.
have helped them because I had to do this on my own and work out
Do you
all
know
about
why?
you and your communication style
Okay,
and memories.
Do you want to know why? And you want to know why?
Hmm.
The reason is they don't make money out of healthy-minded people.
No, of course not.
So if they can pathologize anything,
Yeah.
they will. Now, HSAM is not CPTSD or PTSD. Those are thoughts of only trauma.
What do those acronyms
Those
stand
are-
for? Post-traumatic stress disorder or the complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Just want
You
to make
could
sure
be
everyone knows what that is.
misdiagnosed with that when you're young because you've got HSAM.
Yep.
But the difference is you, with HSAM, remember normal average days, happy days equally to whatever was difficult,
All those
traumatic,
happy
whatever.
days.
So basically, it is completely different, and also you don't get as mentally disturbed. You can move on. You can literally say a really traumatic memory and then walk into the next room. Everything's fine.
Okay, well, a bit of a spoiler
That's
alert.
the difference.
Diane's given away already a bit what HSAM is about. It's about intensive memories. She's given a bit of a background, but we're going to fill in some of the
What,
gaps.
sniffing my friend's dolls that had strawberry shortcakes that smelled so good.
I know, right?
I was
Tell
like,
me
can I
about it.
smell it?
Now, first context. Let's put some
She smells
context to
good.
the whole situation. Diane's got a rare chromosomal genetic disorder called 22q. 22q11.2 deletion
I
syndrome,
had a
to be
lip
more
gloss
precise.
that smelled like it.
It's a microdeletion
In my
on the
handbag.
long arm of the 22nd chromosome. We have 23 pairs of chromosome, and you're missing about 30 to 50 genes,
Yes,
3 million
apparently.
DNA building
My
blocks,
jeans are gone.
and that equates up to 185 clinical symptoms.
No jeans.
So, she's not wearing jeans. So that's the key umbrella condition that Dyan's got.
What?
Underneath that, you've got a few other rare conditions that pop up, but
Fast
also
disease,
some that are,
calcification of the brain.
yeah, but some also other things that are not rare, but are specifically seen genetically because of 22q. Autism. 20 to 50% of people with 22q will have autism.
That's quite
40
high.
to 60% will have ADHD.
Wow.
All right, you know what? Tourette's is thrown into there as a mix that can also be found. Seizure conditions or seizure-like, 65%. That's why you got 7 times more threshold for having seizures. So that's gives us a genetic
OCD
basis.
as well, is there?
Oh, the OCD.
Is there? I don't know.
It is.
I know I've been diagnosed
It
with
is in
organised
22q.
OCD.
Well, the reason
I want
why.
to MRI your brain.
Well, that's actually very important because
Why do you want to do
there's
that to
4
my
different
brain?
types of OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder,
Yeah.
and yours is very much the
He made
organised.
fun of me.
Yes, he did. It's gorgeous. It was quite fun. But this is also the time, and we're talking about these things because when you bring things like autism, ADHD, OCD, you've got developmental learning issues. So that comes from having global developmental delays.
And even
Intellectual
non-verbals
developmental
can have
delays.
this, guys. Non-verbals can have HSAM.
Correct.
Now, if the non-verbal learns to speak, then you find out. If they don't learn to speak, sadly, you might have to just gauge it by reactions to things that you go, why are they reacting to that?
Yep.
If there's an abnormal reaction that doesn't fit the situation, they might have
Correct.
HSAM.
Now, it took you a while to get, as a female, formally diagnosed with autism. That's quite common because it's all
Before
based
the
on male
internet
data,
too.
male information.
Yeah, it was
right?
before the internet too, so I was very alone.
Yeah,
in
with
that.
it. Absolutely.
And very ashamed of it still, even though I knew I wasn't surprised because of my schooling and what I was told. And
Well, we're going to tie into
and
this in
I
a
didn't
moment.
know that autism's historical name is retardation.
Yeah.
I didn't know the historical name, which was my label at school.
A bit like your
So-
ADHD was called.
Hyperactivity.
Okay, because you
Yeah.
were really hyper. This girl, she was pinging around.
Yeah.
But you also had a very late
And IDD is
diagnosis
developmental
of...
delay and intellectual delay.
Yeah, you also had a very late diagnosis of this umbrella condition, the chromosomal genetic condition,
Yeah.
22q. You only got it at 48 years of age.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the children these
Many
days who are being
diagnoses
born
before that, though.
may
So
be
It
found.
wasn't all done at once,
Oh, you
guys.
had 50 plus
It
diagnoses.
wasn't like I got diagnosed with 22q and I went and grabbed all these diagnoses. I have gathered them since
These
child.
specialists just kept throwing them at you.
Just kept happening, and I was
Absolutely.
like, and that, and that,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is out of control.
Exactly. But it actually is interesting because realistically, we're still learning about the brain. Okay, neurologists really only know about 3%
You're still
of
learning
how
about
the
me
brain
because
operates.
these memories don't stop.
No, and that's the
It's
interesting
like, I never
part.
heard you say that before.
I'm in a very lucky position.
It's like,
Think of me as a
in
scientist.
34 years, you don't know.
As a scientist, it's taken me 35 years of getting to know this one over here to work out her patterns. A bit like that seizure detection spreadsheet which I built. I've made that based on
Good for
knowing
interoception.
Dyan inside and out.
Actually, it's good if anyone's got an autistic or you are autistic, you can use it just for autism. I'm
Yeah.
serious. It gives you a heads up on where the person is going to be because I can't tell him.
Interoception.
I'll say
a
after.
lack
I'll
of
go, oh, I'm
knowledge of
so
internal
sorry.
states.
I realised, looking back now, at about 3 o'clock, I was overloaded. And because I did this, I set myself over the edge.
But that's
Sorry.
that's one of the difficulties of interoception
Yeah.
is you can't communicate
You can't.
to yourself,
So I'm
let
just
alone
saying
to others,
it's
to
a
say
good
what's going on.
platform for that.
100%. Now, we're speaking specifically about HSAM, but I had to set the scene because it involves 22q. Out of those rare patient cohorts, only 100 in the world, well, one of those people was a person with 22q. Based in 2022, they actually discovered that this person who's also autistic, ADHD,
Wow.
OCD, okay,
Okay.
has also got HSAM. So it's like, okay, well, that's
Oh my
interesting.
gosh.
Now, for quite a long time,
Dun, dun, dun.
I put a name for what Dyan's memories were, and I called it something. I called it,
What?
it's hyper. You're so intense. So I called it hyper intensive. And it's like, it's all about episodes of memory.
It's like shorts.
So I called it episodic.
Like shorts. Just rolls on by.
There's actually
I
a
don't
thing,
pick it.
but there's
It just
actually,
happens.
but there's actually a thing called hyper-intensive episodic memory, and
Yes,
it's like,
I know.
okay, well,
Yeah,
I
must be that.
haven't studied this area, and it's like, well, this matches what Dyan is and who she is and what she's got.
I think they all know
But then
it.
it's like,
They all know it.
and we say this over the channel. I've said it for years. It's
How
like,
many times
oh,
you hear the
Dyan's off on
same
her
thing
tangents,
over
and
over again?
here she is. She talks in
Sorry.
stories. She talks in memories. Well, these hyper-intensive
Yeah.
episodic memories has also got another name. Really? Another name? That's the highly superior autobiographical
Yes.
memory, or hyperthymesia.
Correct.
Now, you're a hyperthymesiac,
But
but
it's a spectrum like autism.
it
guys.
is.
So I don't have dates, but there's some special ones on TV. And you know TV is not reality. TV is the extraordinary people.
Ah, so you're talking
So,
about
I'm
those.
just saying it's a spectrum. People can say dates.
Yeah.
Now,
So you're talking about like the Rain
Whether I
Man
believe
concept.
it?
No, let's
I don't know.
let's just slow it down.
but
Let's
there
not-
is a Rain Man concept, yes. So
Rain
when
Man.
people say, "Oh, I used to believe it was only Rain Man that was autistic," still is, guys.
But
I'm
with a-
sorry, we are. I am.
savant status.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
A savant is someone who's got incredible
Yes.
intelligence or capabilities. Doesn't always have to be intelligence.
Doesn't
it could
mean we're
be
socially
a
smart.
savant in art. You could be incredibly
but-
artistically
But look
capable.
how switched off he was to the world around him.
100%.
But knew what he knew.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah.
We are in our own lane,
Yep.
in our own world.
Yep.
And everyone's going, "You didn't understand what I just said, did you?" And I'm
Mhm.
like, "No, not at all.
So
Start again."
for a long, and we'll slow this down because I
Sorry.
wanted to make sure that we're getting this. For a very long time, I wanted to work
Yeah.
out why. Okay, the why is really important.
He always does that. It's good for me.
Why is it that Dyan does what she does? Her communication style, which is a Gestalt language processing, which is seen quite a lot in autistics, can be seen in non-autistics, but it's
Because
seen a lot
that's
in
how they
autistics.
teach you with ABA. It's
Mhm.
like, you know, when you're having a social stories and they tell you how to do something behaviorally,
Absolutely.
it always gets you to pull upon a memory.
Mhm.
So I did assume myself that it was just that. It's like they tell you to think of this time that you went to a birthday party. Do you remember doing all these things? You've got to do that again.
Mhm.
And they're teaching you, right?
Yeah, so with,
So I didn't
with,
know.
with the Gestalt language processing, you can have that because you also have HSAM. They are two different things. One's a language, one's a memory. So I want to be precise.
I'm just so sore.
Both of these things are happening. So with the Gestalt, there's delayed echolalia. That's repeating phrases that have been heard maybe days, months, or years prior to even communication. Intonation babies, they might be attracted to melody, rhythm, emotion of language.
Oh, I had perfect rhythm in year one.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh my goodness, you've got the amazing rhythm." And she brought in another teacher, and I'm just like, how embarrassing.
How embarrassments.
How embarrassing.
Non-literal meaning, so we're working off scripts that are used to communicate intent rather than literal meaning. And then there's developmental stages. So that's what can be seen in the Gestalt language processing. But here again, I want to be specific. HSAM and these memories that you've had, because people get confused. People get confused, like you said. Why that you talk
I know
in
some people-
and you get sparked off on going down certain pathways of
Some people
memories.
say in the comments, you know, like about trauma stuff. And sorry to you guys that I can't sort of be that person for you for that, because that's not my channel, right? That's not my disability. But I know there's channels out there for that. But basically, people assume that I am in trauma or something, and I'm like, why are they thinking that? That's really weird to me. And I never understood it myself, because I'm like, why do they think that's just such a
And
problem?
that's-
I've moved on, like I forgot I even said it today.
And
Like,
it doesn't cause you trauma.
No,
You're not reliving the
no.
trauma. You're not negative
I've
about it. You don't
relived
bring the
1,000
feelings.
billion times
Yeah.
without a choice, just like the good memories, the boring memories. It's just there.
And-
it doesn't hurt me.
You see, there
Of
are
course,
some
sometimes it's annoying, but
some language and communication breakdowns that happen, and Dyan can go off easily on tangents. That's the ADHD. It pings you off.
Yeah.
You hear something and suddenly off down to that. But I always wondered, it's like,
Stories are very
I keep
extended.
hearing these stories, but I hear so much information around the stories. and you're really enmeshed in the stories because you're giving such supporting information.
I remember
You've
what
got
I've
feelings.
said,
What you're
I'm
wearing,
feeling.
what you're feeling, what
Yeah.
the weather is, what you're smelling, what you're seeing around you. You describe it so incredibly well. What you're hearing as well. Even the involvement of other people.
Oh,
It's
family
like,
have said to me, there's no way you can remember that.
hold on, let's talk about
There's
that part.
no way. I'm like, and every time that happened, it happened a lot.
Right.
And they were so frustrated, like, who told her? Who told her?
Okay,
And I'm like,
but let's be specific what you're talking about. Your family is saying that based on early memories.
yeah.
Now,
You're too young to remember that. You're one.
most of us don't remember things before 5 years of age. That's quite
Oh,
common.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Lucky you.
For people with HSAM, there's been cases, one of the first known people with this particular case has got memories from as early as 12 days
I believe it.
of after birth. Okay. A lot of them will have memories less than or earlier than 1 year of age. And that blows my mind. That's like incredible. But at the same time, it's like,
My
I
puppy
hear
bit
that.
my pink chair.
Right.
My puppy bit my pink chair. I was in a nappy.
Right.
My puppy ate the pink block chair. I was so mad.
Okay.
I was like, that puppy's got to go. That's what I'm thinking
Poor
in my
puppy.
head. No, but autistics, right?
But
I was
see,
like, that puppy
I wouldn't
has
think
popped
like
my
that.
favourite chair.
And
it
see,
was pink.
it's got pink. You've got
It
things
was pink.
that you tailor
It was a
into it.
blow-up.
It's a blow
My
up.
brother had one and I had one. It was cool.
And it's cool.
And we
And
used
your
to
brother
sit there
had
and watch
one.
TV.
And you're watching TV.
And
See how it
the
just
dog
starts,
popped it.
see how it
The dog
starts
was
spinning
running
out?
down the street all the time, jumping the gate anyway.
Okay.
My mum was done
Now,
with the dog.
we're going to try and contain some of
Sorry.
this because we're painting a picture.
got rid of
So
the
what have we
dog.
learned so far? Diane's got this rare genetic chromosomal condition 22q. Underneath that, she's got subconditions: autism, ADHD, OCD, Tourette, seizures. The list goes on.
My brain is broken.
We've seen that this very rare condition, HSAM, it's not photographic memory, but there's a different type of memory again.
But it is
This is
movies.
autobiographical, and that's the part I wanted
It's
to
like
come
shorts.
to. Yeah. So
like, oh,
I called it previously
That again.
hyperintensive
That again.
hyperintensive episodic memory. It's not always date specific, but actually that's not even true though. I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
Because a lot of time when I go, we were talking about Lady Diana, and she goes, on this day, on this month of this year,
I
and
remember
it's
that
like,
whole day.
and then I talk about Steve Irwin, and I talk about
I
this
remember
event,
that
and I
whole
talk
day.
about this event, and I talk
I
about
knew what I was doing
I talk
before
about
and after.
9/11, and it's like I go through this long list of all these.
And you don't
events.
remember as much as me.
I don't even remember what bloody year it was. I can't remember what month it was. I certainly don't remember what day it was. I don't remember what I was wearing. I don't remember what the weather was.
I do.
I don't know where I was
Diana,
sitting.
It was really lovely weather, actually. I think it was like quite unusual because it was only August. It was like, why are we getting such nice weather?
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at the weeds going, I hate you right now. I hate you right now. Because I'm weeding while my kids are playing. And I'm like, I can't deal with these weeds.
Right.
And I'm staring at this patch where I spilled oil. Oh my gosh, I spilled oil and I ruined it.
Okay.
And I'm like, this grass must come back, please.
Okay.
And I spoke to my neighbour. She's the one that told me. She goes, did you hear? I said, yes, I know. And I said, it's terrible. It's terrible. I said, I'm feeling it all. I'm feeling it all.
I have no idea what I was doing on that day, but this is the thing about Diane.
I took the
And
kids inside.
she,
It's like, bath.
she goes into all these
We need to be solemn.
extra, fully detailed information, and
I
that's
know
why I was
why.
calling it hyperintensive episodic. But really, now that I understand, the memories are only autobiographical. That's what it relates to. This is why it's the highly superior autobiographical memory. Now, well, I say non-date specific. I'm not about to throw you and say what was happening on the 16th of July in 1988. Look, some people can do that. That's that savant like Rayman who remembers those sort of dates.
I remember when...
But if I give you an occasion or a situation, she'll tell me what month it is, what year it is, what day it is, and everything around it.
The thing out of the sky, Skylab.
Skylab, yeah.
That went to... Esperance got the bigger piece.
Right.
We had stuff in our paddock. Now, I remember saying to Pa, okay, I always used to sit on next to his armchair because he had snacks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest, okay?
Okay.
Hi, Pa. I watch the news with you. I hate the news, but...
But you got the snacks.
And he'll just look at me. I was like a puppy dog. I really was. Non-verbal children, we like puppy dogs.
Yep.
And, you know, you have that look. It's like, Yep, okay. And then watching TV, and he's like, oh. He says, you know what? I said, what? He said, something's going to fall out of the sky. And it's from space. I was like, what? And I said, Nada, did you hear that? Oh my God, I went nuts.
Right.
And then I was like, they're trying to get me to go to bed. And I'm like, but what if it falls on the house? What if it squashes us?
Okay, that's actually very
What if it
biased.
squashes us?
That's good rational
Like,
thinking.
it's not going to land on us. I'm thinking,
How do you know that?
how do you know that? You're lying to me, but you're just trying to console me. I'll just tolerate this nonsense.
Yeah, very intelligent
and I'll
thinking.
go to bed.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the next morning, my uncle wakes me up. He's like, come and see what I found. I'm like, oh, you're kidding. I knew it. Right outside. We had
And he
a
actually found
football
some.
size. That's
Yeah.
as big as
A
ours was.
piece of space junk.
And my uncle,
From Skylab.
Andrew's like, Albany Museum.
He's ringing
We
up the
got
museum.
one. It's about the size of AFL football. Nah, Esperant's got a bigger one. We don't even want it.
Oh,
He's
we'll,
like-
we'll keep it.
And he puts it on the phone. He goes, I'm offended. And I was like, yes. Why would they not want this? And I'm touching it like, oh. But it was brown. I'm like, why is it brown?
Well, because it's been
Why is it
cooked, it's
brown?
burnt up, it's on.
It
It's
shouldn't have been
coming
metal
in.
colour. Why is it brown?
So many
It
questions.
was too heavy to
Now,
pick up.
I'm going to ask you to hold for a moment. I'm going to go through some
Oh,
of the
gosh,
factual
that's
information and I'm going to fill the gaps. But that's interesting. Her life is very
Well,
exhausting
there's many
because
limestones in the
there's
way. It's like there's
such
limestone rocks everywhere. I'm like, where is it?
information that's always readily on the
But
tip
that's
of
yellow.
Dyan's tongue. And we've been talking about it through the channel for years, so now I'm starting to piece it together. As I also explained to clinicians and professionals that are working with Dyan, they need to understand the difference. It's hard enough to try and understand some of the information around 22q, a rare condition. And that
Yeah.
goes with most people. There's
Every
7,000
rare has the
rare
same.
conditions, and every one of
Yeah.
them have
When you
challenges.
go to Murdoch, you hear them all. The
Murdoch
stories are all the
University,
same.
I'm
All
connected
of us.
in a consultation perspective with other rare
Isn't
patients.
it amazing how the most sick in the world actually don't get the health care they
They don't.
need?
Exactly.
Guys, it's a fact.
It is.
So
Well,
if you're
only
getting
5%
healthcare-
of rare actually have got treatment and management
If
plans
you're
in
getting
place.
health
Yeah.
care, I'm not saying that your disability life is easier.
No.
Not at all.
No.
But it's good.
But it's important for us to understand all these little nuances, just as much as what does autism bring to the picture, what does maybe ADHD bring to the picture. We understand what seizure conditions bring to the condition. That's why I created that trigger spreadsheet to actually help us map out, work through the autistic elements such as the
But
interoception.
also, what has maybe come out of my shell
Mm,
to not be the ABA me,
yeah,
what
squashed
did it?
you,
Tell me what did it.
given it freedom, saying
Yeah, but what do you think is the best moment you've seen a change in me?
just
That's
you
your
being you.
peak.
Mm,
But what platform gave me that?
YouTube. Absolutely.
You guys are the first people to meet the real me.
100%.
My family could watch this channel and they'll still go, who's that person? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't get to know that one.
No, because of the masking.
Because-
Female masking
Well,
of autism primarily,
no,
or
it's
conditioning. You've been
Satanic family. Obey. Shut the fuck up.
But yeah,
Obey.
conditioned, unfortunately.
Conditioned.
And it's
out
a
of
shutdown, 100%.
Fear.
So let's go into HSAM. We want
Control.
to talk about this so that other people might actually find
Yeah.
out a bit more information, and then we
'Cause
can
I
release refer
believe
to
this
them
is
about
my-
the highly superior autobiographical
My
memory.
hypothesis,
Hyperthymesia.
my hypothesis of this,
Yep.
from what I'm learning, just in him, see, he's learning it and I'm just learning it through him as well, and then he tells me things. But I'm noticing, and I believe it to be true, someone's going to do research and it's going to probably come out, that every HSAM is autistic.
I think so far the correlation
believe that.
is yes, you would have to be actually autistic to have this
Oh,
condition.
okay.
I think that's what the correlation is at the moment.
Okay,
So,
that's good.
so now I've
Just
been
what I was
describing
thinking.
Dyan, obviously communication and memory, highly intensive episodic.
You've been tested.
There is a relationship between 22q11.2 deletion syndrome, particularly with the autism and the episodic memory, and the ability to recall specific personal experiences. It's complex, it's often described as mixed profile, where individuals exhibit both significant challenges and unique, highly intensive strengths.
Because nobody wants to hear it all, but it's like my brain has it happen. So of course, in psychology, guys, thoughts turn into behavior.
They do.
So if I'm thinking something and I'm having like these shorts playing in my head,
What-
sometimes I can't help but them come out.
What a great way to describe it. It is a bit like your
not my
shorts
fault.
feed that you might
It's
have
not my
maybe
fault.
in
Yeah.
TikTok or Instagram, and you're just
Yeah.
scrolling through videos.
Yeah.
But sometimes those videos, you're getting engrossed, you're getting really excited with some of the memories and the thoughts and the conversation. But
Some
but
of
the next
memories
one
are
pops up,
great.
and it's like, well, that one's fleeting and gone. You're onto the next memory, onto the next
sometimes-
memory.
Yeah. I know
And-
sometimes you'll say to me, but hang on, go back to that other one. I'm like, Sorry, what was the
So,
other one?
first thing I'm going
Because
to
I have so
correct
many.
is some
Some can
people
jump in the
have
middle.
challenged and have had stresses over the fact that we talk over each other, or Dyan goes off on tangents, or she can't stay focused on one thing.
I don't have the ability.
She doesn't have the ability.
I never
Cognitively,
will.
the ADHD, the way the
Therapy's been
information
done.
is coming
I'm
in so
51.
rapidly, or if a trigger, a particular keyword is heard, and she goes, "Oh, now I'm interested in that." Now, we've given instructions to professionals where they have, it literally, she's
I
having a
do
video
that
with you,
still.
and she
I'm
hears the plane and is like,
shocked.
forget you guys, she's up on looking at,
I'm
it's got two
shocking.
engines, it's got this colour livery, it's got that sort of tail.
You don't grow out of autism. Duh.
Okay, so that's the context to things. Now, based on a 2022 case study, a highly superior autobiographical memory has been recently documented in an individual identified as RS, who also has 22q deletion syndrome, the genetic disorder frequently associated with intellectual and cognitive challenges. But see, that's interesting. That's the opposition.
Everyone assumes
They
that you're
assume.
going to be.
Bingo.
But however, can I tell you one thing?
Yep.
If you're dyslexic, if you have any learning disability,
Yeah.
if you have autism, you cannot be intelligent. You cannot. There is not an IQ test for you.
No, and that's another part.
Fact.
IQ tests aren't going to pick up what we're talking about.
No.
All right.
Now,
Now,
look, it's a pity I don't have the date one because that's how they can fact check me, which would be brilliant because I would love to be able to
But that's on the
represent
spectrum.
this HSAM in the public because I know what it's like to live with it.
yes.
I can help young people who are going to get tricked into thinking it's PTSD, especially if you're a girl,
Yeah.
or that, you know, you're really annoying, and yet it's not their fault.
No, exactly.
That's how they
And that's why it's
behave,
interesting to
operate.
pull it apart.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's a very difficult life, just like autism.
So, hyperthymesia, the technical Latin name, which is actually Greek, by the way, because thymesia means remembering. Did you know that?
Say it again.
Thymesia. Thymesia
No, I
is the
didn't
Greek
know
word meaning.
that.
So that's where hyperthymesia, you're hyper remembering. Hyper memories.
Thymesia.
Thymesia.
Is that
Yeah.
spelt with an F?
No, it's a THYMESIA.
Oh, of course it would be, wouldn't it?
I know.
You know, because
So-
the English language makes so much sense. In my special ed class, I tell you what, as I got to the point where I was talking, my special ed teachers would laugh. They go, I agree. Because I'd say with the scissors, I'm like, because she'd say, just say it in your head, skizzers. And I'm like, okay. Now, you Americans, you don't have a C in it. We're the idiots, okay? Us UK, we are the
Based
idiots.
language, yep.
But I'm just saying, I said to my teacher, my special needs teacher, we were in the cupboard. We're Harry Potters. We're in the cupboard, okay? And I'm like, why is there a C in there? And she's like, okay, we're here to learn how to spell. And I'm like, no. My uncles told me about this bullshit. I don't need to learn this crap. What I want to know is why is there a C in there? Because it doesn't belong.
Now,
So, you know, my
did you
logic
see all
was,
the extra information that she's just brought in? She's in a cupboard. She's engaging with this
She had
person
short
over
curly
scissors.
hair, it was blonde.
Short
She was
curly hair.
lovely.
Blonde. I can't remember the name of my
Lovely.
teachers, let alone what
She was
colour
a little bit
hair.
chubby, but, you know, sweet.
Okay, let's-
I like her.
Can you hold on to those
I need to
memories
go to
while I
the
try and
toilet.
get through this toilet break? And
Bruce
break.
your mind.
Okay, toilet break. So it's interesting though, you're portraying the fact that you can have learning difficulties, dyslexia, dyscalculia, you can get
Yes.
confused over whether the th sound is
Memories,
from an F, a
story.
PH or TH. You will struggle with those
Still don't
things,
understand
but
psychology with a P.
still you have a very
That's the
rare,
song.
ultra rare,
Stupid.
okay,
Yeah.
memory style that just doesn't forget such intricate details. These things can coexist. Now, it is known as an extremely rare condition. It's characterized by the ability to recall an abnormally large number of personal life experiences with vivid, detailed, and often involuntary precision. You don't ask for
choose
this.
it. We
No.
don't choose. It's just
Individuals
like a
with the
short thing when
trait
you go
can
on
often
TikTok.
recall
It
specific
shows
dates, the weather, what they were wearing, what
Yep.
they did on almost any given day
I
in
know
their
the
past.
weather of the time.
Based on the
yeah.
research from the University of California, UCI Center for Neurobiology and Learning and Memory, highly superior autobiographical memory, HSAM, is characterized by the ability to recall specific, detailed, and often mundane, okay, things that you don't want to know about, personal events from almost any date in one's life. Hyperthymesia, also known as hyperthymestic syndrome or highly superior autobiographical memory, is a condition that leads people to be able to remember an abnormally large number of their life experiences in vivid detail. Extraordinarily rare, a few over 100 people, but with that, that's based on only in 2021 that it was discovered. So they're so new in actually going, hey, I've now put all the pieces of the jigsaw together,
I was
I've given
the
it
one that
a name.
created the dishwashing liquid on slip and slides. Me and the friend from school, he was a boy.
Okay.
He was not my boyfriend.
Okay. Thanks for sharing the bit of information.
I was 11.
That's the mundane information that we don't need to know right now.
I was sliding down the slide with him.
Yeah.
That was a heat wave that summer. Boy, we took the TV outside. In Australia, we didn't have air conditioning.
Okay.
Sorry. The fans were outside, the TV's outside.
Yes.
My grandparents had us at the time. Typical.
Right.
Throwaway kids we were. And it's like, this is cool, man. Like, can we do this every day now?
Slip and slide. There you
Can
go.
we just sit and watch TV outside every day of our life? This is living, Barry.
Sounds good to me. Now, it's
But I
not
love the detergent.
a photographic memory. It's
Brown
characterized by
Brown
obsessive,
sperm.
compulsive-like, and automatic recall of personal events. And that's really important to understand because there are different types of memory. It's not photographic, but the OCD part is coming into it. So it's formerly known as hyperthymesia. Nearly remembering every day of your life in immense detail. Key characteristics: automatic. It's automatic recall.
Yeah.
When a given date,
There's
they
no
can
effort,
immediately recall
yeah.
the day of the week and all the personal events. Uncontrollable association. Memories are described as a movie
know if it's a
running in
weekend
your
or a
mind,
weekday.
or a DVR that's playing on automatic.
Yeah.
Selective memory. HSAM is specific to personal autobiographic events. It doesn't necessarily include photographic memory or non-personal information such as academic facts. So it's not about you recalling the times table or whatever else.
And I don't
It's
recall other
autobiographical.
people's lives too.
No, it's
Like,
your
people
life,
expect
your
me
experience.
to know everyone else's life, and it's like, I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
Like, I'm minding my own business.
Right. Now, the obsessive tendencies, research shows the correlation between HSAM and obsessional tendencies, hoarding,
I see.
organisation. It's the organisational
Yeah.
OCD.
I hoard certain things. I'm not a hoarder in
Yeah.
general, but I have got food insecurity.
Right.
But I show that I have to have at least 3 of my safe foods in the house.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I go into a bit of a,
Okay.
oh, I'm a bit uncomfy.
So the symptoms.
But,
Individuals
you
can
know.
provide exact, accurate details about almost any given date from their past. They often possess a detailed understanding of the calendar and its patterns, the brain structure and function. Studies suggest that the neuroanatomical differences in memory-related regions, though it's not yet fully understood. Daily
They
life,
need to do more on it.
they need to, and there's some extra.
They're going to be born every day.
There's some extra information that comes up, and I'll talk about that in a moment because the
Yeah.
amygdala is involved in this thing. Okay, daily life impact. It's a blessing, but also a curse. It allows for reliving fond memories, but it also
And
can
the
cause
bad.
distress of bad ones.
Yeah.
Okay, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Now the exact
Well, actually
cause
sucks
is
for other
unknown.
people for me because I had a very bad childhood, right? So when I just say my memories of it, my whole life, people have gone, what did you just say?
Mm,
And I'm like, it's okay, I'm fine.
exactly,
And they're like,
because that's how your
are
brain
you
works.
sure you're okay? They're traumatized, but for me, it's not because I'm a psychopath or I just don't have any feelings on that. It's
No.
because it's this.
Exactly, because you're literally
Of course
recalling
I've
from
had
the
my-
filing cabinet the
yes,
information,
Of
right?
course, I've had my moments in my life
As we all
that
do, a
as we all
situation.
do, where
Yeah.
you have to recover from trauma.
Mm.
Of course.
Mm.
So, but that's different.
Exactly. Now, there's no cure for your condition
No,
or
no.
treatment because it's considered a condition rather than a disease.
It's like autism, guys. It's not a mental illness.
Yeah.
It is a condition.
Now, at school, I had to learn things like mnemonics for didactic memory. So you learn patterns to remember complex formulas or dates from history for an exam. This is not that. You do no step to actually go, okay, I'm going to remember the first letter of all of these things and create a abbreviation, an acronym to then stimulate the memory of this statement of this. No, you don't think like that. It's literally you're recalling from a filing cabinet in your brain all of this wealth of information. So it's
Yeah.
different in that regards, and it's autobiographical. Quite
Yeah.
commonly accompanied with calendar calculation related information. Okay.
Well, I can tell you the season. I can tell you,
Mhm.
what it's closest to, whether it's an Easter or that's Christmas, whether it's summer, winter. Like, I can tell down to the year,
Right.
So I'm just not, like I said, it's a spectrum. I am not someone, unless you say a famous person that, I was alive for and went through the world experiencing that. I can tell you not just, and this is how you know, it's not just what you were doing maybe the moment you found out, it's
Yeah.
what you were doing before. the whole day.
Whole day, all what's around it. Yeah.
So that's what my memory is. The whole day, from the moment I wake up to the moment I went to sleep. It's
Yeah.
more than just the moment of finding out that happened to the person and what I was doing at the time. Yeah.
Now, it's interesting because having 22q, commonly we think, well, look, there's frequent association to intellectual or cognitive challenges. We understand
because I'm
that.
mentally 18.
Right, but you can still have an
three learning
intense
disabilities.
memory, and that's
Three
how your
learning
brain
disabilities.
actually works, right?
Yeah.
It's exceptional.
My dyslexia is really bad.
Mhm.
My dyscalculia is really bad.
There's some research into RS, the female with 22q, who was, I think she was about 31 years of age when they discovered that she had HSAM, and like I said, it's only just recently. So I'm expecting over the next 5 to 10 years, this is going to be really broadening.
So Rain Man is not an exaggeration for some of us.
Yeah.
And this includes nonverbals. And only you will know as the caregivers of a nonverbal, and only you as an autistic will know if HSAM is
Correct.
you. But the fact is, the Rain Man is one example of an autistic. It just is.
It's just an example,
It doesn't mean that it's a bit like ADHD and ADD. They show completely differently.
True.
So we just need to keep that in mind, that the brain is all clumped in together. I mean, look at the infrastructure of the brain. It's all like so many things. It's just the way yours can just cross in one tiny little way can make your brain totally different to the next person, but you both have autism and ADHD and OCD, etc. So it doesn't mean, though, that you're going to be the same in behaviours and what you do.
So this person with 22q, I think her name was Rebecca Sharrock, the 31-year-old. Now she had, like I said, autism and OCD as well. Her memory characteristics, she reported having constant, uncontrollable influx of memories and the ability to recall specific detailed events from most days of her life. There's a superiority in context. She, Rebecca, showed superior, highly detailed recall for the past events autobiographically, especially when those events were personally relevant to her. She demonstrated the ability to link these memories to very specific dates with a huge amount of accuracy. So that's very interesting for her as well. Now, there's no structural brain abnormalities found in MRI scans for her specifically. So you're not seeing morphological changes in maybe the hippocampus or anything like that. So that's not how it actually works.
In the future, they might, though. Gosh, things are just rapid at the moment.
Implicit rehearsal in the OCD link seems to come up a lot in the
that?
Well, again, it's just the way the OCD brain actually comes back and rehearses.
I remember my psychiatrist explaining it.
Right, so that's the involuntary rehearsal of past events to manage the constant, sometimes overwhelming stream of memories. No, and that's the thing with your OCD. You've actually got a really good bunch of toolboxes, and you know how to manage all of that, which is exceptionally good, and that takes time.
That's what he said.
Study.
He said, like, I'm not worried about you at all because you just, I can't remember the words he actually said, but he said, like, you don't need any help with your OCD. You have a good system going, and he's joking around too, and actually said the things that you're doing is actually a benefit to life because you're very organized.
Helps you in everyday life.
Very much a routine person.
Helps your executive functioning, which is the interesting part of things.
It's like it's something that does, and I wonder, because OCD is a mental illness, I guess, and I wonder if we develop that as autistics to overcompensate. Because I remember packing my bag as a teenager for school, and it had to be done the night before. And it took me an hour. It took me an hour. An
the
hour
planning, the preparation.
to pack my school bag every day. I'm not talking about just on a hard day because there's running club in the morning and then there's aerobics or dance in the day or whatever. No, I'm talking an hour every night to pack my dance bag and my school bag. It was exhausting.
It is exhausting.
But I had to.
Now, in the non-date specific, these are the people who you can't just throw a single date at them, like the 26th of August, 1852, and you go, I was doing this on that day. So that's an incredibly rare cohort, like I said, the Rain Man. But for the rest of them who've actually got the spectrum side of things, vivid reliving. I want to talk about that. Memories are not just remembered, but felt. That involves the whole senses, so the sights, the sounds, the smells, the emotions, as if you were playing the video. So is that how you would describe it? Because I think they've actually encapsulated it well.
You know what the weather is. You can tell people what the weather is. You can, you can tell them what you're seeing in the eyes that you had at the time, looking at what you're looking at. Like I said, when I said to you, we were about to do this video, and I said to him, oh my gosh, my brother was, well, this is one of the younger memories that I'm not supposed to remember. My brother was in one of the bedrooms in our new house. I was born into a new house that my parents built for my brother, who's 2 years older. So he was first, I was second, and this was their brand new house. And one bedroom obviously hadn't been painted. My dad did everything himself, OCD. And basically, my brother was in there, and I opened the door because I'm looking for him, because wherever my brother was, I was. It used to annoy him, but I was his shadow, right? And I went in there, and I'm watching him paint with white paint on his hands on the walls, and this massive paint tin. It was huge.
Like the 10-litre type tins,
yeah, it was the big ones. Right. And I was like, Mum.
No, right.
And my mum comes rushing in. I felt the wind of her rush by. She pushes
like a
me
speeding
back
train,
because I was about to join in.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Let's do some finger painting on the wall.
Good. And I was like, my brother never gets into trouble. I'm thinking in my head, it's not me. It's not me. Anyway, I just walked back the other way. Yeah. But like, that was just, and even like in that house too, when people, you can't remember that house. I'm like, I remember running out, Nana and Pa, to say goodbye to you. And my brother jumped on me. She goes, how do you remember that? She goes, yeah, I remember that day too. And she said, but you were too young to remember that. And you know what she said?
Mm-hmm.
She said that my brother, and I remember my brother being angry. I don't remember the words. She remembers the words, but
so
I remember
the feelings of it,
my brother getting angry at my mum. Mm-hmm. My nana said that my brother said, you're not looking after her.
Interesting. Now, automatics. Unlike trained mnemonicists, those with HSAM often experience this retrieval effortlessly and involuntarily. Do you agree with that? It just comes upon you. Mm-hmm. Continuous in nature. They tend to spend excessive time thinking about their past, constantly reviewing and analysing personal experiences. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. But it's not in a bad way, guys. Don't worry about me.
Emotional.
It actually makes me emotionally intelligent.
Exactly. Emotional and spatial detail. Memories are rich in personal context.
Yeah.
Where they were, who they were with, how they felt, rather than just the factual details.
I just want to say, because I find it interesting of, people out there, I'm allowed to focus on myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to say that, guys. Like,
you should be.
You guys know that, but I'm just saying, like, some people don't seem to understand that I can just be about myself.
Oh, no. Now, the research from the brain structure is showing that there's particularly some differences in the temporal lobe, the parietal cortex, that are involved in autobiographical memory. So
they can scan me if they want.
Maybe they should test you for science,
Maybe we should speak to Murdoch when you next go. Just say, look, I've got this. She's got HSAM. It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy.
Now, if you are considering and thinking that, look, you think in the same sort of way and in such intense detail, and it's involuntary and it just comes upon you. And
if people have said to you your whole life, oh my gosh, you got to stop thinking of that negative thing, and you're just like, what? Sorry? I'm not thinking of it because it's negative. It's like, I never understood that. I was always like, why do people always think because it was a negative memory that I'm talking about, that it means that, oh, are you okay? I'm like, shut up. Like, it never made sense. No. So if you get that feeling too, and you're just like, I'm just talking of what I remember, and others react emotionally so strongly to, of course, the bad ones, of course, because we remember everything. So good, mediocre, and bad. And if you respond, because then you know you don't have PTSD, because if you had PTSD, you would need that support. You go, oh, yeah, thank you, let's talk about it. So
100%. Now, there is a HSAM self-assessment quiz that's available on Google. There is self-assessment tools that are available and developed by researchers, such as the Public Events Quiz and 10 Dates Quiz. So do check those sort of things out. And we've been through that with you, and tick.
It's been discussed for a while because we have been studying my my
you are
brain
the
for
canary
a while.
in the coal mine. We have been.
Because I am not, and I'm not saying that it's easier for people that aren't complex, but I'm not just complex medical.
Yeah.
I'm complex with my brain. I have autism, OCD, ADHD, IDD, and HSAM. And all of these things, and I also have a cognitive deficit in short-term memory, big time,
Yeah.
and that is a 22 thing from childhood.
100%.
One
Whereas your
instruction at a
long-term memory
time.
is
Don't
intense.
multitask. One instruction at a time. Give pictures as the instructions and etc. So my geneticist even said it.
Yeah.
So I'm also complex brain.
Absolutely. Now, the starting age for this condition can actually maybe come more around puberty. Okay, and again, we find a lot of hormonal things change the brain structure for ADHD.
At
Maybe, I think it's more vivid. I think it's where they start to take note that their memory is more vivid and more detailed.
That's probably
around
only because
that
they're
point.
realizing that others don't have that same thing, and they're like, "Oh, okay, I'll just shut up," because they don't think
Now,
like that.
it is also considered a spectrum, as we said.
Self-conscious.
There's a range of capability rather than a binary yes or no condition.
Yeah.
So it's as much as you can recall, really, at the end of the day.
It's endless.
What other sort of
How
things?
How long have you got?
Or varying precision as well. And the thing is, too, is your precision is astronomical, and it's also uncalled for. You just keep spilling out the information, and I'm thinking, I'm almost
34 years,
reliving.
It's like,
I'm reliving the things
I'm sure
as if I'm there with you, and I'm not even there.
Me experiencing it. So most of the time, I say to him, like, "I'm sure you've heard this before," and he's like, "I haven't." So what I'm probably experiencing is I've relived it in my head because I have it like shorts,
100%,
just pumping through.
Now that's the two types.
I've not spoken it, obviously.
No, correct. So. And that's the two types of people with this. They're either got the movie or the movie shorts in their mind on the loop.
Yeah.
Others, they're navigating a filing cabinet. They're able to go to this filing cabinet and extract this amount of information.
I've got boxes that I can do that.
Boxes,
I've got negative, positive.
Yep.
I do compartmentalize in that way because when you've got this condition, you have to get a grip of the negative.
No,
just
and
like
again,
anyone.
like binary, black or white, on or off, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. Okay, so let's not get ourselves going.
Everyone's memories are never 100% accurate, guys. It's
but your detail
because we're human.
Blows my mind.
We're human.
It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And yet you'll struggle to remember mundane details, you know, like what someone was wearing only a couple of hours ago.
I bet if I said to my nana at the day that my brother jumped on me, what was the weather like? You know, because it was quite warm.
Or what car they were driving, what she was wearing. Did she have a brooch on that day?
I had a dress, and I know she had a dress on.
Right.
So it was summer. Yeah. But basically, I bet you, possibly, she wouldn't remember such details, if that makes sense.
No.
So there's extra things that she wouldn't remember. And that's because of the difference between my memory and other people's.
Exactly, and particularly the compulsive tendencies. Many individuals with HSAM display high levels of obsessive compulsive traits, particularly organising their memories, which is a key part of how they maintain such great recall, potentially more so than any other different brain structure.
That's why when I did go to therapy, because of my family, they're so messed up, but I had to go to therapy because I'm like, I've got to work out this. I've got to get rid of this toxin, man, because like what they've taught me isn't right. And so, you know, I kept just sprouting memories, and she's like, "You didn't feel anything?" And she was just absolutely mind blown because she's like, "I hear you just say it, but where's the emotion?" And I'm like, and I'm thinking in my head, not saying it because I'm not aware I have this way back then. And I'm like, it's just a memory, can't hurt you. And I'm just thinking, this lady's a little sensitive, you know, and I'm trying to be nice to her, as autistics are. You know, we're nice to everyone. But I should have just said, like, hey, it's just a memory, it ain't going to hurt you. But, of course, therapists don't make money out of that. But
but
it's just
they wouldn't have known this.
No,
and also,
no,
what you're just thinking and saying then,
obsessed
you
with the
didn't
past.
say that to that person, so they can't also piece it together. Like I said, I've had to step back and analyze and look at you and your engagement with others and what you bring to the party. And what you bring to the party is this incredible flood and wealth of memories, and that's why, like I said, you go off on all these tangents.
I used to love setting
I can say something to you
and running to the forks and going, "Where's Uncle Andrew's fork?" I had one little bit bent up because he was OCD. He doesn't want to share cutlery. And I was like, "I got you, Andrew.
There you go.
I've got your fork."
Neurobiology. Now, studies are suggesting a link of enhanced activity in the amygdala and the hippocampus. Okay.
I missed Sunday, Rose. Sorry.
That's all right. Time-space synesthesia. Some researchers link it to this, where memories are structured in a spatial way. It's not perfect. Despite the superior recall, it's not a photographic memory. There is a connection with ADHD. The research is suggesting that ADHD can also impact how the brain processes emotional stimuli, impacting memory. And of course, the OCD part of things, which we see with 22q and anxiety. So all those connections absolutely make sense with that. 60 Minutes Australia, the TV show, had a program on this. And it was called Gift or Curse, the exclusive group of geniuses who remember everything. So if you do a search for Gift or Curse 60 Minutes Australia, that'll give you a video.
I'll put it in the description, the link.
That's a great idea.
Guys, just remember, it's a spectrum, so don't count yourself out if this is something that you think might be your thing in life and you're frustrated because people are like, oh my gosh, why do you remember all these things? You need to stop talking about the past. And you're just thinking, why are they so sensitive? You know, like,
Correct.
it's just, you are having a different experience to what they're having.
100%.
So if you do think this is you, do check out that. But she is the extreme version.
Correct.
She is the hyper version. So she is date specific.
One of those 100 rare people in the entire world. And like I said, it's a spectrum.
Correct.
You do incredibly well with certain dates, which even just blows my mind. The early childhood memories, some studies indicate that autistic individuals may remember personal events from a very early age compared to their neurological peers. I want to keep pointing that out because it's normally about 5 years age and plus, and you have always been like that. The involuntary triggers, we do it a lot of the time when we're talking and we go off on tangents, but sometimes those triggers could be a picture that appears on screen. And sometimes when we're doing videos and we have the TV in front of us, a certain picture comes on and your brain suddenly goes away from the conversation and it floods with the trigger of the memory.
Does it?
Sometimes it could also be a scent or even an emotion or a feeling could come into it as well, and suddenly that creates the trigger as well.
How this works, if you want to know, because you know what, the scientists don't know everything.
They don't.
Let me tell you what it's like.
Love to hear from you.
It is just as simple as the stimuli is just the trigger. Okay, so it's a bit like my Tourette's and how I twist it into comedy to cope.
Yep,
that used to be my hiding my Tourette situation.
So you didn't get into trouble.
So I didn't get in trouble, so I could kind of soften the blow with everyone around, because in my era, swearing as a chick was just, well, in my posh family, no, you don't swear. So it was really hard for me because I had no control, and I'd make it into a joke. But we are just same as Tourette's. If you look at something, you know, like, it's a bit like when the Mean Girls was happening on maths, and the Mean Girls movie quotes were just coming through my brain, and I was just like, okay, Georgina, and it was just coming through, and it was just full on. It's like, oh, I'm sick. You know, like I was going through all of these stupid passages from the movie. And that's just how it is. It's the same with this.
Right.
So exactly, if I'm having Christmas, I will just go back to a random Christmas because, I don't know, I'm eating something specific that Christmas reminds me of that Christmas back then. That is, and then the next Christmas, it'll be different Christmas memories. I don't get to choose. It just is triggered by the stimulus.
Now, let's talk about that, because you just said you
don't
get to choose.
No.
Now, so vivid, sensory-rich recall.
Shorts.
Okay, you're reliving the
Sometimes
memories.
They're a bit fast. It's like, hang on.
Intense sounds, smells, and textures.
It'll come back.
That must be
exhausting.
I was going to say, with such a fatiguing condition that you have overall with having 22q, the brain, which is already overtaxed, particularly when you've got a lot of neurological things going on. Tourette's is neurological. You've got neurodevelopmental things such as the ADHD and the autism.
Side of it,
So you've got those aspects. You have to also.
With 22q, if you've got hyper ADHD, it's worse than the general population of ADHD.
You also
it's off the chart.
You have to work harder. So when you're looking at words that are written, particularly because of the dyslexia, your brain's got to go, I've got to focus from left to right. Which is my left? I've forgotten which my left is. I've got to get the letter.
Well,
what does the sounds make?
Matt, I naturally go from ETTOK.
Yes, you go from right to left.
Yeah,
you go
I go
opposite
the opposite
direction,
way.
not Western.
It's just
European
not my choice.
Language.
So what I have to do is I call it, and this is how I describe it to you, and it is a psychology term somewhere, double think.
Yep.
So as an autistic, number one, I go into a social setting. Right. Setting. I need to say hi and how are you?
Ah,
And this
the
time,
social cues.
because it's not an acquaintance,
ABA therapy,
I need
yeah.
to listen to how they are
Right.
and then expand upon that.
Okay.
Oh, it's
You got
exhausting.
the building blocks
Anyway,
as you communicate. Yep.
I have to second think. Because normally I'd go into the room and try and find the animal of the house and play with the animal.
Yep.
But that's not good manners.
No.
Anyway, when I read as a dyslexic, I naturally do that. But then I have to go, hang on, other side, up, and across. So
you're working harder.
My teachers had to do that all the time. It wasn't just flipping numbers and letters. It was like, no, we start on this side each time.
Let's
and I'm
also
like,
then look at,
why?
you've got the
Why
language.
can't I be me?
So you've got the language related issues.
Yeah.
You've got the sensory challenges of distraction because with autism you can be very easily sensory overloaded. Now that can be from sight and sound and smell and taste and touch.
Yeah,
Okay.
anything.
Just even the temperature can really set
Buzzing
you
of
up.
the electricity in the Denmark house.
So that level of things makes life challenging. So the reason I come back to the why, I'm looking at this from the perspective of how do we
Grandfather
assist.
clocks too. Both my grandparents.
Stay with me.
Both had grandfather
Stay
clocks.
with me.
And if it did the one ding, it's half an hour. It's half past what?
Don't mention the cuckoo clock,
Now I
whatever you
need to
do
know
as well.
the number of what it's half past.
Okay. So coming back to the why, my challenge is how do we assist Dyan to navigate the big outside world? Because remember, most people, what's actually recommended in the international clinical guidelines for 22q should have guardianship to help them navigate healthcare and finances and life in general. There are so many challenges going on for you.
Back off.
There's so many challenges going on for you simultaneously,
Yes.
which makes life incredibly hard just to turn up.
Yeah.
To get out of bed with a
I'm
complex
brave.
condition. You're incredibly brave and I'm proud of
I have
you.
to be brave, guys, and I want you guys to be brave. And that's why I do my channel. That's why I go vulnerable on anything, because I want people to be brave.
Yeah.
Because there's many
can learn
people
from
that
you.
want to squash us,
Yeah.
squash you,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. But the fact is, these things, what I know is my journey, might help your journey.
Correct. Now, we're not experts and we don't pretend to be. I'm
No,
not a
but
specialist
we do our research.
in this particular area, but I've got the ability to research. I've been to university. I've learned how to do this.
Yeah.
And with that,
Well,
I know my
doctor's
person
seen my
inside
brain
out.
go,
And he's
and
also
knows it's a
scratched his
concern.
head and he's
Yeah.
pondered.
He's
And he can
noticed.
go, well, that's why
That's
you
a
need
medical
guardianship
practitioner.
to navigate certain
Yes.
things. Okay. But it's...
And the geneticist knows that. And
So you've explained that it's
obvious.
intrusive, it's vivid, it comes uncalled for.
you don't get
You've got all these
to-
other
you
challenges,
don't
like
get
I
to
said,
choose.
from dyslexia. You've got
Yeah.
regression that's occurring neurologically because I'm
Seizures.
seeing your stuttering or aphasia, slurring, word finding, your short-term
I'm
memory,
choking on food and drink.
dysphagia. You've got a lot of neurologically related
that's
things that are
seizures.
deteriorating because of the seizures, which we
Because of the
expect
seizures.
with 22q. But the real thing of asking for here is accommodations and understanding around the condition is your challenge when you go into just maybe a meeting or a conversation or
I
a new
know.
clinic or meeting somebody new.
Hard.
Like you said, as an autistic, you might want to go into the room and look for the furry animal to, but you can't. You've
All
got
the
to,
pretty pictures on the wall.
you've got to engage with the
Do
person,
you
do
want
the
to come
social
through
cues.
so we can do this clinic appointment? I'm like, but look at the picture.
I know, but you've got to listen to what they're saying.
I know.
You've got to be able to bring information that's relevant
know what's really
clinically.
hard?
You've got to be able to talk about it
You know what's
in
really
a
hard?
prioritization of importance. You can't do that a lot
Yeah,
of
but
time.
when you've been a non-verbal for a large sum of your life, sometimes you forget that you're a verbal and you go, oh, sorry, yes, I meant to respond.
I need to put
I
words to
was
that.
just kind
So
of in
Dyan was
my own
non-verbal up
head.
to 11 years of age. She still uses
my goodness.
an AAC, an augmented alternative
It's
communication
really
iPad
embarrassing.
device to help her communicate, particularly
whoops.
neurocognitively. So this just shows that there are so many challenges. It's a blessing, but it's also a curse. There's a lot of wealth
But
of
it's good
information.
when you read a book because
Yeah.
I had a women's, I started a women's non-profit, incorporated it.
Yeah, because of your
And
welfare
I
studies.
did
yeah.
a discussion on psychology of body language.
Mm-hmm.
I have studied body language because I had to through my courses, including
Of
up to
psychology, yeah.
university. And so I just had a passion for it because it opened a door as an autistic, which I still can't do, guys. It's very intellectual only and I forget. So
The
I
application in
can't
the real
read body
world,
language still. So,
No.
But anyway, I can educate you
particularly
on
with
body language.
alexithymia,
Yeah,
part
I
of
can't,
autism.
I can't read it naturally, but I can lecture on it.
Yes.
Crazy, right?
But that, so okay,
But that's what I'm saying, because of this.
Right.
That's the only reason. And when I did that talk, those ladies were like,
Mhm.
And I said, right, that's it, for today. They're like, no, keep going.
Yeah, because they want more.
They're like, oh my
They're invested.
goodness,
They
this
want
is
to extract all
incredible.
this
And I'm
really
like,
useful information.
oh,
With
I thought I
HSAM,
failed.
and the reason why I asked you to pause,
So
the person
understandable.
with 22Q in this example, who like I said, she's about 32 years of age, she got diagnosed, she has a special interest around Harry Potter, so she can bring all this information.
Yeah.
Autistic Harry Potter, come on, we can see
That's
the connection.
common too,
But she can bring all the facts of Harry Potter and be able to regurgitate
Disney.
that. You might have Disney, but you've got you've got psychology facts. That's your special interest.
Because that's what I
Can you
studied
apply it to yourself?
formally.
No, but
No.
do you know all the information?
No.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You can recite
yeah.
the DSM, the Diagnostics and
Yes,
Statistical
we
Manual,
studied
inside
that in
out.
social welfare.
So it shows how your brain operates in that sort of thing. But I think your biggest challenge is in communication and being able to engage with other people.
Guys,
and going
I
off on
know
tangents.
that you probably think that's not the case on my channel because it's a one-way thing. Even though you talk back to me in the comments.
Yeah, thanks for the
keep
comments, by the way.
doing
Keep
it.
that
I
going.
enjoy it. Like, I love
Comment
you guys.
right now while
like,
you're thinking about this. Yeah.
It's really nice to hear how you guys are going, even if it's about your animals or anything. But basically, it's, what's I saying?
Oh, I love that. Your short-term memory and the way you go off on tangents. Got it back? I love it. You come in so assertive with the point that you're going to make, and then it's like goldfish memory.
Before, what was I saying? What
Oh,
were you saying?
Okay, I've got to now rewind my memory.
Okay, so with psychology, like,
Yep.
if you were with me and you went into the world, you'd go, yeah, she needs help. She needs a guide. She needs a person.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yep.
Because I cannot do consultations with professionals on my own because I just annoy the shit out of them. Fair enough. And it's fair enough because I don't communicate well. Second, anyone that comes across me at the shops, unless they're a good one and they're a really nice person, they just look at me like, oh,
or in a social
goodness,
situation, yeah.
Yeah, in a social situation, only people that have kind hearts accept me because everyone sees it immediately. It is a target for bullying, so please protect yourselves, autistics,
100%.
because they always want to bring us down, but super powerful, right?
What you've pointed out is the difference of what you do on YouTube. You are
it's different out there.
self-led. You are initiating the topics, the conversations
on
the channel, and what we've also got happening between the two of us, even though there's a struggle of overlap and crossover, over speaking, is I make accommodations. I know how your brain operates. I know where you're going. I know the memories that you come. I have to rein it back in. I have to redirect you a lot of the time. I have to support you to try and remember where you were on things or keep focused on the task. That's our challenge. But you're right, in real world scenario, to do this independently.
Actually, in real world, let's talk about what it is like too. Is people are really rude to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I might be really rude to Sir. They say, oh, he's controlling. No. I would not be a safe adult if it wasn't for this human. Second to that, they say, oh, she's just unruly. She needs to learn to, listen and stop over talking, and I can't. I have tried. I have gone through therapy people, whether it's a clinical psychologist, a neuropsychologist.
You've done the work.
Therapy.
You went into psychology to study this.
I've studied it myself. I am the best version of an autistic
and let's applaud that.
Can be.
Let's applaud that, because you know what? That's fucking brilliant, but people still want more. And that's wrong. That's the part that pisses me off. Sorry. The reality is, Dyan is exceeding in absolutely everything that she does and puts her mind to and tries hard. Let's just acknowledge that. Let's give her some grace. Let's applaud the successes rather than go, well, you're not a perfect neurotypical. No, actually, she's not. She's not neurotypical. She's autistic. She's incredibly different. She's got 22Q and her brain. That's why we have these conversations, to help not only educate and advocate on the condition, but also for you to become aware that there are differences, and differences need to be accepted but also accommodated. Sometimes the systems and the outside world don't make accommodations. So because of that, we have such things as a guardianship or advocate or a whatever role you want to be, a nominee in certain places.
I haven't had many friends that
Except?
I can say are friends that are real, in the sense that it is an equal, real relationship. Most of my friendships, I've been totally the follower, under control. And I knew it, but I had to go along with it because that was the best I could get out of life as an autistic. But the ones that I did get to be equal friends with, I treasure those memories so much, and I can only count them on hand. And I know that most people are like that just with your soul. You can probably only count on one hand how many true friends you've had. I know that, but I'm just saying, I had horrific experiences. So maths is not a lie. I have been treated like that by grown women, and even on my channel, people from my life have come in on my channel. Mean girl, absolutely identifying features, is definitely someone in my real life. So basically, you do need to stand by, I am a great autistic. No, I'm never going to be a neurotypical.
No, you're not.
You're an ableist.
Acceptance.
You're evil, and you're a mean
That's
person.
anti-discriminatory.
Mean girl, and jealous. And I think that you autistics need to remember, we do have something that they envy.
most
We
commonly.
live in the moment.
Yeah.
We get super excited about everything.
You're enthusiastic.
It could be nothing silly, but we get so excited.
And you have lots of really good information to give.
We have a superpower.
Now, just as we wrap this up, and I was also just thinking in my mind as I go through these things, because I'm always thinking to say, well, how could we make it better? Coming back to why we do this at the end of the day. I would almost think that you would have to be in a sensory deprivation tank.
I love sensory deprivation.
So, you know, where you've got the goggles on, the earplugs in, you can't hear, you're floating, so there's no... I think only then if you were to remove all sensors...
I can't do that, though, with this.
No.
I can't do it with this, because then it's just sitting there like watching TikTok on the For You page, and you're not choosing. In the
darkness of your brain.
It's like, I don't want to... This is just exhausting. I'm trying to relax.
So there
it's
is
just
no
like
way.
watching TikTok. It's like, that's not relaxing.
No.
So for me, the reason I find craft, art, my heaven,
low-level
my
distractions,
happy place, my editing of you guys when I do videos
the
for you in the
things that
creative
work for
way,
you.
I'm just editing in
That's your
general,
toolbox.
and the thumbnails and everything is just my creativity. That helps me deal with HSAM, because it's tiring. It's not that they're all negative. Sometimes they're really positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you want to relive it again. You're like, oh, let's do that again. And then you go, oh, hang on, my heart's not good. I can't do that again.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's exhausting, like ADHD.
So the only other alternative, and this is a bit like when I was at Murdoch University recently, and we were talking with other people in my cohort, either as parents or family members or things. No, and I was also just trying to think the strategies and the tics, and how do you train? What are the skill sets, or what are the ABAs that you could use in this situation? Now, a bit like the example I'm trying to give here at Murdoch University, when we've got a meeting, if I had the information about the meeting...
The psychiatrist said.
Sorry. If you have the information about the meeting before you go to the meeting, the dot points, you can at least prepare the information that you need. You can even write it down as your answer, because if you do that, you've got an understanding of what's going to be asked of you. You can think about that, deliberate that, you can prepare it, you can then write it down, and you've got the opportunity to spend time over the editing process to be more succinct and clean it up.
That's what I do with you, but before my doctor.
Yeah. Because that's a learned strategy to cope with this.
But the problem is, the variable that you've forgotten is he's got his input that we don't know what it's going to be.
I know.
Which is fine for normal people. That's fine. It's not his fault. It's not your fault. It's just...
It's the dynamic nature in real life.
I wasn't prepared for this one.
In live motion.
Now, if I knew you wanted that information, I would have been well prepared for you. I'm sorry, I'm rambling, doctor.
Right. So all of this shows all of the things that we actually do, we try to do, but what are the obstacles of just coping
variables like that
in real life? And that's why I wanted to say that. I knew that as an answer, but I wanted to be able to voice that and have a conversation and show everybody.
You don't know what the doctor's going to do each sort of appointment, because sometimes
and that goes with social. You could have a whole script of things that you do as you enter into. My name is Dyan. I like painting. And that's what we end up doing. We end up not talking as much. We end up being the listeners.
But you know what?
But
like,
not the actual
it's funny
engaged.
because
Yeah.
I talk in memories to people, and it's like I notice with the people in my life right now, they're so funny about it. Like I love their responses.
Yeah.
Because they're always like, oh, you know, like you're so fond of that person, you know, or whatever in your family, and I'm like, yes, but how do you know this? And I'm thinking, my memories, my memories,
Yeah.
my memories, my memories,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But also sometimes they are the trigger because some of them remind me of my grandparents.
Yeah.
My good grandparents that I had wonderful relationships with.
So it could be something that they say, it could be a perfume that they wear, it could be a handbag that they've got.
They like it because some grandparents at the moment, I think they're unhappy with their grandkids and how they get treated, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, they think it's really endearing, and I'm like, yeah, I really loved my grandparents, like, you know, so yeah. It can be good.
Guys, I really do hope that you've found some benefit
do you know
and
what I
interest.
say that though, just to wrap that bit up, even though that's a way of me actually having a conversation,
Participation.
when I get home, I'm sad because I didn't get to talk about what I want to talk about.
Thank you for sharing that.
Because my brain doesn't have the ability to social engineer and enjoy it because I'm trying to make sure that I don't do all the things that autistics do that would offend another person.
Or
like
throw in Tourette suddenly and you're doing coprolalia or copraxia, suppressing of a tics. Your brain going slightly offline because of orthostatic intolerance leading into... There's so many bloody challenges that you have, and then you feel like you're missing out or not being able to participate in an equal sort of way.
Yeah.
So that's why we do what we do.
And you come home and you still feel the same thing you felt when you come home from school. I'm different. Yeah. I don't like who I am. Just for that brief 5 minutes. Yeah. And then you move on from there. Yeah. But if any of your autistics are the same as me and feel that, that is our existence in this world right now. I hope it gets better and people get more informed about autism.
And it may not just be autism, it also may be the ADHD components, or if you have got Tourette's in isolation. Most of these things are never in isolation. Most of the time there's a crossover, and you'll tend to see a lot of autistics who've got Tourette's, etc. Okay. HSAM, we've just been talking about today, highly superior autobiographical memories, also known as hyperintensive episodic memory.
Autistic. It's my belief.
Absolutely. We've really shared a lot of information. If you've resonated, if you found it interesting, you've got comments, questions, leave them below. Look this up as well.
I'll put this link
especially in
to
correlation
this
to 22q11.2 deletion syndrome. It is known, it has been found a correlation.
Viewers need to know that,
Maybe there's more because it's only new. Okay, hasn't been around for hundreds and hundreds of years.
This is very new.
This hasn't been around for more than even 5 years.
And you know what? Okay. I just want you to know that the government wants you to be stupid. That's why they didn't give you a good education. But basically, this is something that they don't really want us to know because it is a superpower. It is. And those people that have this, I think that the earlier you know, the better your life will be.
Early intervention,
and
absolutely.
You can maybe even choose a career where this is really handy. Which
empowers you to use it. Absolutely.
I really think you should look into it. But just remember, the example you'll see on the 60 Minutes is the most full-on example. Yep. It's a spectrum. Yep. Not everyone's like date specific. It's just really out there. So
100%. Yeah. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Big hype, big thumbs up, all of those common things. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share. And don't, it's time to take your medication.
If you have noticed, if you're someone that's been with me for a long time and you've seen this and you've gone, oh my gosh, now that explains it. She's not
light bulb
obsessed with her past or anything like that. Now, like, let me know. Let me know if you're like, oh my gosh, I do see that, and I see the struggle because I don't need that validation, but there might be people out there with this because I do 100%. Think it's way more common than what they say. It's always the way.
And for us, it's actually helpful for us to know. And also when we enter into clinical settings or even in social settings, if people know how you tick, they can also look at ways to accommodate
they can redirect me from this,
meet you
so that I'm
where you're at.
To tasks.
And feeling like you're also participating and being part of something.
But this gets in the way of me doing my tasks.
Absolutely.
So if I'm in a certain thing, like I might be doing my speech therapy, I might be in a clinic appointment, and if I go on these tangents, it's not helpful, and no one has the time for it, and it's not doesn't mean that's a negative thing. It helps me to be more like, I guess like everything else, you know. I know that people think autism is so black and white, but
No,
I need
the
prompting.
challenges that come with it.
I
yeah.
need prompting, and this is just another thing that I need prompting.
And when it comes to the prompting, if we've got supports in place, high intensity support needs staff, they can help you to facilitate life and day to day, but they also need to know this information just as much as your doctors and specialists who engage with you.
And I think when
why
you've got
and how
this,
you operate.
you need to hyper focus on what others' communication style is, because with one of my doctors, my good doctor, one thing I've noticed, and it's really difficult because, you know, he's my primary care physician at the moment, right? And, you know, it's really difficult because I know that he can't type while I'm talking and I can't shut up. So it's a clash, and I see it, and I'm not in control, and he's not in control, and it's no one's fault. It's just a really bad situation.
Yeah.
So I have to.
Something which I have to bridge between everybody, and that's what carers
And he
are
does.
there for.
He nudges me to. Shh, he's got to do this bit before he can go on to that bit. So, but I'm just like tick, tick, tick. But for other people, of course, people that are hearing the information for the first time, a little bit different, right? And I shock people with my memories because it just rolls off of my tongue, and people go.
But it also confuses people because of your communication style. You come across as this, but the reality, it's a bit like I'll use the example of telling you can't tie your shoelaces, but you have incredible intelligence in other areas. Same thing, guys.
But I am sorry, but I'm not sorry for being me. So I am sorry for having communication issues, but I'm not sorry for being me.
Love it. All right, we're going to love you and leave you.
Don't be
We'll
sorry
see
for you.
in another episode, real side 2. Bye for now.